So here it is then. One of, if not the most anticipated car of the year. The brand new BMW M4 Competition. Now before we get into some details of this car, today I'm being joined by a new presenter for the first time. All I know about him is his name's Jack, and I've asked him to bring a very similar car to this so we can compare. And actually, I think I can hear him coming in now. Sounds like a 6-cylinder. Right. It's an M3. The new M3 Competition, in fact. It's more or less exactly the same car as this, which is rather interesting. Except it's got a few more doors. Jack?
Yes.
That is more or less exactly the same car as this.
Yeah, it's the M3. It's better than that one. You see,
how do you figure?
Well, because the M3 means something, doesn't it? M3, that badge is full of history and heritage. Like people buy into the M3 brand, and without the M3, there is no M4.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. However, you talk about heritage. The M3's now got 4 doors.
Yeah, it's always been available as a saloon, but you know, it's more practical. I can get my child in the back of that. I can get my luggage in and out of it. It's slightly larger boot. You know, it's just more headroom as well in the back.
Yeah. No, I agree. But before we move on to some of the details, let's address the massive elephant in the room.
This front end.
Before we go and see what our opinions are, let's see what you guys think. Please let us know in the comments below your opinions on the front end of these cars.
But don't be too harsh, because we all know they haven't got off to the best of starts. I myself was one of its biggest critics when it came out. I was not overly enamoured with the way that looked. But now I've seen it in the metal. I think it's actually quite aggressive, quite an angry looking front end. And I think it really works with the overall design of the car.
I have to say,
like these sculpted lines in the bonnet that replace that power bulge that like flow down into these grills, the number plate actually helps break up the lines.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have to say, I agree with everything you've just said. Absolutely everything. I think in the flesh, especially with the carbon pack, which gets you these lovely little carbon intakes down here, I think it looks spectacular. Another thing that I've noticed with these as well, the first time ever with the visibility package, laser lights.
Yeah, they make a massive difference.
Yeah,
as well,
they're incredible.
They're part of the reason why I think it's got such an aggressive looking front end.
Yeah,
those
definitely.
LED kind of halos that have, you know, evolved over the years.
Definitely.
They really do stand out.
While we're on the subject of the looks, colour. Drive it grey?
Drive it grey?
Yep. But come on. Come on.
It is a lovely end colour, that, isn't it? What is it?
Frozen Sakir orange.
Frozen Sakir
Yeah,
orange.
that's the one. It just looks spectacular. And I have to say, I think we're both in agreement, these cars in the flesh look incredible. Yeah. They really, really do. But actually, I can see through your window, you've got a rather lovely interior too.
Yeah, mine's been lifted slightly, I think, with that
Should we have a look?
Ivory colour.
Let's have a look. Oh, yes. Look at this. Oh, aren't these seats just incredible?
Everything in here just feels M, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
The carbon back seats, the carbon fibre between your legs, all the centre console, the dash, it's all over the steering wheel and the flappy paddles. It's just very M.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It feels so special. I mean, I've got the carbon seats in the M4 as well, but they're not. These with the added ivory.
Yeah, they really lift the interior, don't they? Especially against that Drive It Grey paintwork.
It looks absolutely incredible.
You've also got these extra buttons down here with it being an M car. You've got M mode, which makes your dashboard a bit lairier, gives you a massive rev counter and that shift light. And then this setup button as well. You can go through and, you know, change your suspension between your sport, your comfort, and you've got Sport Plus as well, which just sharpens everything up a little bit. Although it does make it a little bit harsh on these B roads.
Yeah, I found that, to be fair, without taking anything away from sort of the drive, which we'll do in a bit, but I think, the modes make such a difference to the character of the car.
You can really feel them changing, can't you, when you're shifting them.
I love this interior.
Yeah, I think it's
absolutely superb. The quality just feels incredible in here.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And with the M3 as well, I noticed there's an awful lot of space back there.
Yeah, as I said earlier at the top of the video, this would be my choice because having a child, it makes it easy to get the child seat in. There's a lot of room at the back there. And yeah, carry your passengers around.
It looks so spacious back there.
Yeah, lovely, isn't it?
There is, however, one angle on this car that I don't think anybody can argue with.
The back.
Look at it.
I know, it's lovely, isn't it? I love these LED lights, how they sweep around the side. This little tiny carbon fibre spoiler just adds that extra little bit of aggression to the boot. And look at these exhausts. The size of them. There's 4 of them as
You
well.
can fit your fist in those.
They're massive, aren't they?
They're incredible.
Yeah, and with the carbon pack as well, it's replacing that splitter with the carbon fibre version rather than the gloss black. It just kind of, adds a real level of aggression to the back end. You really know when you're behind it, which you will be a lot of the time.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, it's an M3 you're following, not just a normal 3 Series.
I love these rear arches. That's one thing that you don't get on the M4 really, is these massive rear arches.
You know when you're driving it and you see them in the, what do you call it, your wing mirrors?
Yes.
Oh Christ, it just encourages you to put your foot down a bit, because when you just catch that glimpse, you could be bimbling along, you catch a glimpse of that rear arch and you just think, you know what, this car's much more capable than I'm giving it credit for.
No, I think it looks absolutely fantastic, and one of the big things with both of these cars, one of the big selling points of the M3, M4 has always been how practical they are.
Yeah.
So as we've already mentioned, we've got 4 doors and we've also got a ridiculous amount of boot space in there.
Yeah,
it's massive.
Really, really usable boot space. As you can see, it's full of my camera equipment at the moment.
But that's enough about the exterior design and the interior. I think I want to see the beating heart of this now. So let's head round to the front. So what do we have under here then? Well, we have a 3-litre 6-cylinder twin turbocharged petrol with 510 horsepower, and 0 to 62 mile an hour is dealt within 3.9 seconds, which rather interestingly is only 0.1 of a second faster than the previous shape. Now that primarily is because this is now 100 kilos heavier. Yeah. Because we've got all this technology, we've got a load more traction control and different settings and things in this car, so it's just more.
So I've got to take this call.
Right.
Hi, is that Tom? Hiya, Tom. No, just go away. Yeah, so we're about 25 minutes away from where you are. Are you there now? Right, okay, what we'll do, I'll get the car sorted, I'll get Matt and we'll come up and meet you. All right, so we'll be there in about 25 minutes. All right, thanks, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
But all in all, I do think that these two cars are brilliant. I love the way that the front end looks, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think we've done our job now. These cars need a bit of a road test.
So wait, we're not doing that?
No, that was Tom Ingram on the phone. He's a British touring cars racing driver.
Okay.
He's about 25 minutes in that direction, and we're going to go meet him and hand these cars over to him, because let's be honest, we've got no authority on telling our viewers just how well these cars handle on the road, whereas Tom, with all of his experience, probably the man for the job.
This is news to me, so I'm not 100% happy, but
stop
let's
talking,
go.
get in
let's
and follow
go.
me.